In a surprising and intriguing move, Joseph Michael Straczynski, the creator and showrunner for the 90s science fiction series Babylon 5, is now rebooting his original creation, which is set to air on the CW network. However, there have been some significant changes at the network itself that have impacted production. In this video, I'd like to discuss the latest changes at the CW and how this has affected the planned reboot. News of a Babylon 5 series from its original creator, Joseph Michael Straczynski, first broke September of 2021. The new entry to the franchise is described as a from-the-ground-up reboot. Warner Bros. Is once again set to produce this new version, with episodes airing on the CW. Straczynski has clarified that he is not retelling the same story, but rather going in the direction of a reimagining, like Westworld or Battlestar Galactica, where you take the evergreen elements of the original series and put them in a blender with a ton of new challenging ideas to create something fresh yet familiar. The official premise of this new reboot revolves around John Sheridan, an Earth Force officer with a mysterious background who was assigned to Babylon 5, a 5-mile-long space station in neutral space, a port of call for travelers, smugglers, corporate explorers, and alien diplomats at a time of uneasy peace and the constant threat of war. His arrival triggers a destiny beyond anything he could have imagined, as an exploratory Earth company accidentally triggers a conflict with a civilization a million years ahead of us, putting Sheridan and the rest of the B5 crew in the line of fire as the last, best hope for the survival of the human race. After the reboot was announced, Straczynski noted how supportive and eager the CW network was to see this show happen, saying, "The network understands the uniqueness of Babylon 5 and is giving me a great deal of latitude with the storytelling." If production went according to initial plans, the series was headed for a late 2022 premiere. However, not long after this reboot was announced, was the CW network itself put up for sale by Warner Media, putting the future of this sci-fi reboot in a precarious position. Recently, J.M. Straczynski addressed the current status of his Babylon 5 recreation on his Patreon. I'll leave a link in the description below if you'd like to read his full statement. He begins saying, "Anyone who knows the history of Babylon 5 knows that the path of this show has never been easy and rarely proceeds in a straight line. Apparently, that has not changed. About a month or so ago, it was announced that the CW network, B5's home for the last year while the pilot script was in active development, was up for sale. When news of this broke, the immediate question was, will this have any effect on B5? He then stated that he had already heard from someone inside Warner Bros. That confirmed there were a number of high-level conversations taking place regarding the CW to determine how many pilots and what sort could be picked up during this transition, especially given pre-existing deals and commitments. Straczynski remained optimistic at the time. Deadline Hollywood reported a few days later regarding the slate of pilot scripts ordered for production by the CW, and Babylon 5 was not on the list. The network has ordered pilots for the supernatural prequel series The Winchesters, a Walker prequel series called Walker Independence, a new DC series called Gotham Knights, and additional scripts for the network's Zorro reimagining. While Babylon 5 is renowned as top-tier science fiction, it seems the youth-oriented network wants to play it safe by prioritizing IPs that have proven successful before, like Supernatural and Walker, and those that have wide recognition, like a Gotham and Zorro series. Straczynski even said that when a pilot script is not picked up to production, 99.999% of the time, that's the end of the road for the project. The script is dead. However, despite this, all is not lost for Babylon 5. Straczynski continued in his statement saying, "I received a call from Mark Pedowitz, president of the CW. I should mention that Mark is a great guy and a longtime fan of B5. He worked for Warner's when the show was first airing and always made sure we got him copies of the episodes before they aired because he didn't want to wait to see what happened next." Calling the pilot a damn fine script, he said he was taking the highly unusual step of rolling the project and the pilot script into next year, keeping B5 in active development while the dust settles on the sale of the CW. So as of right now, the B5 reboot is still in active development at the CW and Warner Brothers and is expected to air sometime around fall of 2023. Many fans have already expressed concern not so much with the idea of a reboot itself, but rather with the CW's involvement. Considering it's for sale at all serves only to further validate those concerns with whether or not the network can do their part to make sure this new entry to this beloved franchise is a success. However, Straczynski was confident before in the network's creative support, and it seems from these comments that his hopes were not misplaced. He concluded his remarks by saying that the road to Babylon 5 has never been easy, but the good news to come out of today is that the road is still very much intact. For myself, I feel it's far too early to get excited about this potential project. While the CW has put out content in the past I've thoroughly enjoyed, such as Superman and Lois, the entirety of Smallville, and the early seasons of Flash and Arrow, they've also produced several lackluster series recently that have been poorly received, no doubt contributing to the reasons that the network needed to be sold. I'd feel much better about this reboot if I knew of the involvement of other key figures from the original series. I don't think I'm alone in saying that it would be wonderful to see Bruce Boxleitner have a role similar to the late Richard Hatch in Ronald D. Moore's reimagined Battlestar Galactica series. With Boxleitner's latest return to sci-fi in the Orville Season 3, I would think there's reason for hope that he might be open to take on a role in this new Babylon 5 series. But I'm curious to know what you think about the Babylon 5 reboot. Are you optimistic about this project, or do you have reservations regarding whether or not the series can be successfully remade? Let me know your thoughts in the comment section below. I hope you enjoyed this video. Leave a like if you did, and be sure to subscribe for more sci-fi and fantasy news and lore. Thank you all so much for your support, and as always, have a very nerdy day.